Welcome back, everybody. In this installment, Bryan tests the new Storm Trend 2. Hopefully you've already seen how the ball looks for me as a tweener, and this would interest you if you're more of a stroker style, especially with some tilt. In many cases, what Bryan and I see are not very different. The magnitude of the difference isn't typically, the difference we might see from, say, a high-powered player, for example. In this case, I feel like the gap was bigger than normal. I mean, we were on a fresh medium-walled house shot. Basically means you get it out to the friction, it roars back, misses in sit, right? Typical. Bryan started in the 8 to 9 range to about 6 or 7. This is playing the edge of the friction essentially. He saw what I would say, fairly mediocre look. It was a little over under without a ton of drive consistently. He tried several different tricks to get it to work, move in, push it to the dry, more direct, varying speeds, some combination thereof. All pretty tricky, ultimately with nothing really consistent. Eventually he found something pretty direct up 7 and a little firmer. Certainly he would wish for a more consistent reaction, and it simply means for Bryan's game, the Trend 2 is not as good a matchup for a fresh shot. We eventually touched the surface with a 3000 True Cut pad, which improved it a bit, really just to crack that shine. He found the pocket more consistently for sure, um, so it definitely looked better like this, which makes sense. He did a quick comparison with his Marvel Pearl and the Phaze III. The Trend 2 was more ball than his Marvel Pearl, as his Marvel Pearl's a little older now, and it's his go-to as a step-down mid-late reaction. When looking at the Phaze III, which is more like a mid-defined, that one clearly has more oomph and consistent drive, and it makes more sense for him overall. So ultimately, the Trend 2, I would say, looked marginal for Bryan on a fresh walled, house shot. It may make more sense as the pattern breaks down, but it feels like he wants a little more motor than what the Trend 2 offered, in terms of something like that making his bag. So for now, I think he's going to hold on to the Marvel Pearl in his mid-late.